All right, guys. Welcome to the live stream. I'm just waiting. There we go. Perfect. All right, guys. Welcome to the live stream. So, we are going to be doing a horror themed Hill House live stream.
More of like a
Discussion, something. Yeah, I don't know. I don't really know. I'm gonna kind of wait till some people pop up in the chat here for us. We have some stuff. It's kind of like Lord of the Rings thing we did. We figured we have some cool discussions. You guys can join in, say what you think, tell us that we're wrong or we're dumb or whatever it is going to be, and then depending on how the time frame works out, we may also do react to the hidden ghost, because a lot of you guys were asking for that, and so I was like, oh, well, we can do that. We can make that happen. What's up, Sarah? Baby dog, Hattie Patsy, what's up? Hey guys, what's up? All right, we got everybody in the chat. How's everybody doing today? What were your thoughts? Did all of you guys watch Hill House? What were your thoughts on Hill House?
It was
because I was like so shocked in the reaction that I needed a second to.
Yeah, it was a lot more complex of a what do you call it, a horror movie,
yeah,
plot, compared to other horror movies. Of course, not hating on any other horror movies, but usually the plot's a little simpler than what Hill House brought to the table. Yeah. And so I thought it made me do a lot more hardcore philosophical thinking.
Yeah, dude, I was like, oh my gosh, I'm shook. Yeah, dude, I don't know, it was I think I literally fell asleep because I didn't remember any of the ending, and the ending was amazing to me. I didn't realize too, Mike Flanagan has done some of my favorite horror movies. So there's a few other Oculus that we haven't seen yet that I want to show you, which is the first thing of his I ever saw. And Hush is really, it's not even like a horror movie, it's a little bit different, but it's great.
I'm down.
So for those of you guys who are new here or new in the stream, basically what we're going to be doing is we're going to be kind of doing a discussion about Hill House. I figure we have some questions and different things like that. And then, if you guys want to chime in or drop questions in super chats or chat or whatever, or chime in on the discussion, totally feel free. And then I figured at some point we'll watch one of the Hidden Ghost videos or something like that with you guys live on stream as well, because you guys have been asking for it. Somebody asked about Bly Manor. Pedro, yes, we are going to be watching Bly Manor. It is going to be an extra show because the audience was kind of split on it. It was like some of you guys were like, yes, do more. And then a bunch of you guys were like, no, just move on to movies. So we're going to do both because we love you guys. So we're only doing one episode of Bly Manor a week as opposed to two, because it's kind of like extra content and we can just humanly only do so much a week.
Yeah, time-wise.
But yeah, Bly Manor, it's up on Patreon if you're interested. Ann, I feel like we usually just see haunted houses movies and we only get an hour or two. A show like this lets the ideas expand and stuff throughout the episodes. Yeah, I mean, what was your before we go straight into discussion questions, what was your favorite part about the show? What did you like aspect? What was your favorite aspect of the show?
One, I liked the designs of the ghosts. Right?
Okay.
They're very interesting and unique, not your typical, scary, whatever, devil-like creature. They had their unique sort of style, and I feel like there are also reasons for each of, why they look, just like the bent neck lady.
Yeah.
Mr. Hill being all tall and stuff. Things like that. It was interesting. And then also, I liked how the ghosts felt or the haunted side of it felt more of a kind of
What's up,
background music to the center story.
I think they blended it so beautiful, because the more we watch horror movies, because I didn't actually watch a lot of horror movies, so we really started watching them on the channel. And so we've been watching a lot of horror, and a lot of it's devil stuff, and I don't mind that, but it's kind of just the obvious choice in a weird way, where it's supernatural thing, it's the devil, you use holy water and it's okay. And so I really appreciate any story, but especially Hill House, because they found a way to do the ghosts, first of all, as actual things in real life, like you were saying, and then also as other things. And I actually think it wasn't background, foreground, it was really a really nice blend of the two, which I really liked. They kind of combined and interweaved both stories together, and I thought that was super well done, and it was just amazing and like really emotional.
Yeah, I did feel like the main dish, though, was the what do you call it? Not reality, because like the ghosts were real, but like
the emotional side of it, like the actual ghosts that were like the personal demons.
Yeah, the personal, like the things, their family, their emotional trauma, stuff like that, right?
Which I thought was really cool. I thought, and that made it really like hit home, for me at least. Like that made it really effective.
Yeah.
A few people are asking, what was like your favorite scare of the show?
When Theo and Shirley were talking in the car.
Dude, that freaking got me. We both screamed in that part.
Because it's so... You're trying to, like, take in the emotion and, of the conversation. You're like, oh... And then all of a sudden, Nellie's just like, shut up!
Right?
I was like, holy...
And I really liked that it wasn't a pointless jump scare.
No, yeah.
It was just so well done. And somebody was saying that apparently the actress went early, too. So the director told to, like, cut them off in the middle of their line.
So it was
like
an
they got scared
scare,
too because she cut the line off by like
That's cool.
like a minute or so, which is great.
That's beautiful.
Thank you so much, Footy Surfer, for the super chat, man. 1981, Footy Surfer, 1981. Do you guys buy the idea of ghosts in real life? P.S. Love from the UK. Ghosts in real life on the in real life, or
I'm
real life
assuming,
on the show? Because we could have that discussion too about whether any of the stuff in the show is real.
That
or
is
just
true.
But we'll have that aside. I don't really know. I've never had a supernatural experience. Like I've never seen a ghost.
Yeah.
Except you screwing with me.
Hey,
throughout my entire childhood.
Hey, I didn't come up with the idea.
Yeah, I think so.
I think so.
Like if I were to see a ghost or like something happen and somebody was like, "This is supernatural," I would believe them. Yeah. I do think there are supernatural things going on in the world. Yeah. What do we think about Steve? I know some people really dislike him, but I personally kind of love his character. I think something that the show does really well, and I wasn't sure how the fans were going to respond, but they actually seem to respond pretty well as well, is in the comments, is I think they really equally, like, nobody is the perfect kid.
No, yeah.
And you can really understand all of the things that people do wrong and all the things that people do right in the show, and I really appreciated that. Because I think... and even us, we've had opinions for, like, different stuff for Hunger Games, where it's like, I understand it, and the fans is like, you're stupid, or whatever.
Yeah.
But I was curious, because I thought that, but then I was like, what is everyone else going to think? But I feel like, you guys tell us, right? But I feel like a lot of the fans agreed with that.
Yeah, as far as, like, Steve and stuff, or just the whole general...
All the characters not really issues. Being specifically... One wasn't better than any of the others.
Yeah,
which I really liked. Except maybe the dad, low key.
Well, what about Nell and stuff? I feel like the worst of them had to be. I feel like Shirley and Steve were kind of, in my opinion, were a little
Luke
more on the
and Theo both did some pretty jacked up stuff too. Nell was the only one, but I almost think she doesn't count because she wasn't really in the story. Like I almost mean like the people they were dealing with she was more the object of the story than the actual story.
Yeah.
But Theo and Luke were both pretty bad too. It just felt very real. It really felt like real world problems.
Yeah, I feel like a lot of it were, like I said, were human mistakes.
Yeah.
They were human mistakes, and that's just how it is. People make mistakes. Whether it's preconceived things or just out of pure, desire randomly, right?
Yeah.
I feel like all of it is human, right?
Who was your favorite, and not in like who do I think was the best, but like who was your favorite character? Just like seeing them, you're like, that's a really well written, interesting, fascinating character. Because I do think there is a difference.
Fascinating characters. I think I liked the dad, and as a character, I do like Steve's whole, journey, right? As a character and how he was written. He is interesting to me.
Yeah.
And for some reason, I was also intrigued about the, I'll say that for more like my favorite characters as in the thing, but...
Yeah, I feel like Steve too, because that felt very...
He was very conflicted.
And I really liked that they had a character that wasn't like stupidly critical of ghosts. Like, you know how in a lot of horror movies...
Yeah, you have the guy.
They'll be like the guy, and you're like, bro, the house just lit on fire, and you're like, it must have been a gas line, and you're like, come on. but like he had some really good valid reasons for it, and then the way it got flipped on him was really well realistic as well, and so I really liked that.
Yeah, I did like that. You know, he was mad about the dad not taking what he thought should be proper care of the wife, right? Or his mom.
Yeah.
And think of like, you know, probably my mom has mental issues, right? My dad didn't give her the proper care that she needed, right? I mean, that's very realistic. Like,
yeah.
And saying it was, you know, ghost or something like that, right? Yeah, that, I mean.
And that's frustrating. I mean, like, I totally get that. Strawberry, we are probably going to watch it on stream later on. So we have it kind of set up, and we figured we'd do like a discussion with you guys here where you guys can ask questions or do super chats or whatever. And then at some point, we hadn't watched the video, and I was like, oh, should we make it a separate reaction video? But I figured, like, screw it. This is kind of a Haunting of Hill House celebration, so to speak. So we'll watch it on stream probably in a half an hour, 45 minutes, something like that. We're going to stream for about 2 hours. So yeah, I pulled up one of the videos and we'll watch it on stream. What was your favorite episode? A lot of people have been asking that.
Favorite episode? It was tough. I think 5 and 6 were really good.
5 and 6 were 10 was really good, dude. 10 got me, man.
Yeah, that's true.
Like, dude, even just the scene with Nell is probably my favorite scene. Like, when Nell is in the room with all of them, and then the way her lines slowly connect to everything, and then the way it was so well done. Though at the same time, the ending of episode 5 was also really well done.
Yeah.
Those 2 scenes are probably the best scenes in the whole show. There's so many good scenes. Because the freaking car ride scene with Shirley and Theo was really good. And when she got out of the car with that whole monologue moment, I mean...
Yeah, I really enjoyed that scene.
Showrunner's wife, you know, give her the juicy lines, but still...
Okay.
It like, gives her the best monologue in the show. But I would do the same. That's fair. Yeah, I don't know, man.
Episode 10 was really good, too. And the way... Remember we were talking after about the whole... how we were thinking why or how his dad died and stuff, and they're little signs of showing that he wasn't there.
So detailed, dude. I freaking love it. Like,
that was cool.
That was awesome. What was your favorite plot twist reveal? Like, what was the biggest thing that surprised you the most?
Surprised me. I would have to say Nell being the bent neck lady. Because the other twists were surprising, but I was also they were also kind of clearing stuff up, kind of, and things that we were already thinking about. It was less and confirming those. Yeah. The bent neck lady came out of nowhere. I was like, wait, what?
It's also the other twist came episode 10, so you were already in this show.
Yeah.
You kind of were getting an idea what they were doing.
Yeah.
And then, whereas episode 5, you're still not really sure what the heck's going on, and then you're just like, oh my gosh.
It's and we're time traveling? Or, bent neck lady is her. Yeah, that was the most surprising, I'd say, plot twist for me.
Yeah. Yeah, dude.
Was that you too? Bent neck lady?
I'm trying to remember, dude, because I already knew about it. I so half-heartedly...
Oh, that's true.
I so half-heartedly watched the show, and then I think I fell asleep. Honestly, the whole ending was really well done to me. I don't know why it just hit me so hard, but it did. It was great. I think it's all the family feels.
I get you, yeah.
Okay, so first discussion point, and obviously chat. If you have any discussion things you want to do, throw it in the chat, and we'll try and answer it, or super chat it, and we'll for sure answer it. And then if you want to chime in, obviously as well, we're gonna kind of monitor you guys. We're gonna kind of talk about this, and then maybe half hour or so, we're gonna watch the ghost video. We'll just hang out and talk. We'll have a good time. This turns into a Q&A, or what is the creepiest thing that ever happened in your life? We'll tell ghost stories and do that. I don't know. We're having a good time with you guys. We're celebrating Hill House because you guys are awesome. So, the first thing that I thought was really interesting is I do think there still is an argument to be made that none of the ghosts are real at all. Or there's not even a supernatural element to the show, and it's completely fake. Because... you know the mold? Somebody told me in the comments to look up the effects of black mold, and it's freaking crazy. Like all the different stuff, like the persistent headaches that the mom has, like different stuff like that. So I was like, you could make some stuff. Nick reacts. What's up, man? Shout out to another reaction channel. No, it says headaches, and there could be poisoning, chronic fatigue, vomiting. So, you could use a lot of that to clarify what the mom is going through.
Okay. And
the rest you kind of could put to trauma. I mean, I don't know. I'm just saying there is a...
Well, I'm sure there... I feel like there are definitely points in the story that point to that not being true.
Yeah.
Just a few things. Like...
Thanks, Haley, anyway.
Bye, Haley. Now, one of the things that I was thinking of is like, okay, the episodes are shot in a way, and can we trust what the episode is showing? Because, for example, just one little thing, when, who was it? Shirley and Nell were trying to get into the red room, and Theo was in the red room, but it was like her dance studio. Like, what exactly would that mean? That so somehow Theo got into the red room, or
that's true. I don't know. It's just a big brain theory. I guess it doesn't really work.
Because I feel like, I mean, even everyone after that were all basing their...
Except at the same time, like as kids, have you ever had a memory that you misremember it? Like you could very, very easily all kind of misremember a few things and it skews in your brain.
That's true.
And you could really easily, and it's kind of a cop-out, but it's also because it's true, you could really easily apply most of their memory of things and their twisting of things to childhood trauma because their mom killed herself.
I'm trying to think of times that would disprove that.
Because I don't know if anything blatantly disproves it.
Okay. I mean, but the problem is the dad and like everyone else in their later years were constantly talking about the house being alive, you know? And they were saying things on how to... For example, the dad and Steve, when they were having their conversation, some of their whole talks were about the dad trying to prove to Steve that it was real.
That's true.
Right? And so he was saying things like, for example, the clock.
That is true. The stuff that he saw, that's true. That's true. Yeah, that kind of disproves it.
Because if it wasn't real and it was trauma, I feel like it wouldn't be brought up in discussion so clearly on trying to prove that it was real. Like, that's true. So the dad, unless like they're all just crazy, like you know what I'm saying? Like, why would
maybe Steve's right? Like maybe they're all kind of crazy. Something else that people said, which really freaked me out, is that apparently all the memories at the end, something is red in it.
What do you mean?
You know, all the memories, like the prologue showing her Shirley be honest to her husband, and then, you know, Luke being 2 years sober, and Theo with her girlfriend and everything like that. And there's a red object in all of those, like implying maybe that they never left the red room. Which could be possible. Some people were saying that there was an ending that kind of confirmed that. I actually personally like that they didn't. As dark as that, and I like that they kind of leave it ambiguous and screw with us, but at the same time, it's like, really, guys, I don't think it was the Red Room, and I think, honestly, it makes the show better if it wasn't.
I feel like it does make the show better.
Because the message of the show really is, like, forget about the real ghosts. It's our own personal demons and things and issues that we leave unsolved and unfinished and undone that truly haunt us. Whereas that kind of an ending kind of buys into more of the, like, ooh, it's scary.
Evil, yeah.
It's a scary ghost.
That is true, yeah. I feel like it...
I mean, like, I like that, and I like cool little... Like, I like that they screwed with us a little bit, and that they didn't leave it for sure.
Completely for sure, yeah.
But I think that happy ending is the better way to interpret it.
Yeah, it does leave the message that they were going for with more of an impact.
Yeah, a bunch of people are saying that That was the original ending, but they cut it out. I think that would have been a little too trolly. That's why I think it is good that they cut it out, because there's a lot of things that people do last minute on films that change the entire meaning of the film, but it doesn't mean that like that's what it was. And then there was peer pressure. It's like, no, that's the final product is the final product. And I think that, you know, if he had done that, it would have been really brutal. But also, I think it would have been a little bit like trolly, like, you know what I mean, like a little bit. I think like, oh, like I think it would have taken away from really the emotional impact of the show.
Yeah, if it would have like brought the feeling to a different side, I feel like, you know, whereas this one was overcoming your own ghosts and stuff, and it's not really about the real ghosts, you know what I'm saying? Then
yeah.
If you do that other ending, it brings us back to, oh wait, but real ghosts, by the way, you know?
Yeah.
It's kind of like that.
Yeah. What, like, how did you interpret, because I've been thinking more, and then I got help from comments about, like, what actually happened, like, especially with Poppy and stuff, right? We didn't get a lot of clarification.
Yeah, okay.
So, I kind of have some ideas, obviously comments confirm, and then you tell me what you think.
Okay.
So, I think we both agree Poppy was bad, right? She's a bad ghost.
Yeah, I don't think
any of the other ghosts in the house were bad.
I'm just trying to remember.
I could, right? Because none of them do anything else. None of them act against them.
Yeah, I don't think any
and
other
I think
ones were blatantly...
the house is an entity as well, right?
Yes, I believe that.
So,
right?
And this is not all me. People commented this to help me out, so I'm not stealing. What I kind of think is that Poppy was just flat out crazy before she died.
Yeah.
And because the house is like a creature and it eats these people, so to speak, like they don't leave the house. They're kind of stuck in this weird limbo state in the house, hence the explanation of all the ghosts walking around, including Poppy. But because Poppy was kind of crazy and psycho, the house kind of uses her to antagonize the mom and potentially other people, I guess, in the house later on. But that's not, like, she's not the house. And then you see other manifestations when the house is, like, pretending to be the mom or a few other things. But I feel like Poppy is her own independent ghost, but because she's kind of crazy and bad and psycho herself, the house kind of used her to help. Because she doesn't appear outside the house, which is very interesting.
I feel like anything that appears outside the house
is the house. Right? Because I feel like something that we for sure understand is that the people are tethered to the house. Almost completely. Never mind.
I'm thinking like the stuff a lot of times the stuff outside the house is not the house. That's what I feel. It's like I feel like a lot of it is just their trauma, and the ghosts outside the house represent the trauma that's haunting them a lot of times.
Yeah.
Kind of like the guy, like...
But at the same time, Nell, all of her appearances, a lot of her appearances were outside the house. The mom saying come home was outside the house. The little blinky light, the body crawling. So there's actually a decent amount of ghosts outside the house.
Yeah, there is a decent amount of ghosts outside. Now, whether or not that can be summed up as trauma or not is...
Well, also, I think it has something to do, and I don't think there's a concrete finger to put on it, but a lot of it has to do with the fact that they were touched by the house, nibbled on by that. Like, I don't know I don't know how to phrase it exactly, but I feel like because they spent so much time in the house and it like got a piece of them, like that stuck with them when they left. Because nobody else was saying like Nell or anything like that, right? Like I think it's because they were somehow pricked by the house. I don't know exactly.
Okay, I get you, but your main thing is that Poppy was not a part of the house, but the house was using her.
She wasn't because remember when we ended the reaction, we were like, was she a manifestation of the house, or was she actually... I think she was crazy, and the house was kind of using her, like, employer-employee style. Like, you know, they were still kind of manipulating her, but it wasn't, like, straight-up puppeting her, and then she wasn't straight-up independent of the house. It was kind of like employer... Like, the house was like, hey, you work for me, abuse these people. I don't know, please react to Gotham. Possibly, I'm down to react to Gotham. I love that some of the ghosts were at Nell's hallucination wedding. I like to think that some of them were victims. but aren't all malicious. I think all of them are, except for Poppy.
I feel like a lot of them were victims.
I mean, none of them did anything, right?
Poppy can technically be called a victim.
I just feel like she was crazy, and so that's why she's hurting other people. But I think that her craziness was also probably leaned into by the house, which makes me feel bad. You know what I mean? Like, somebody who's mentally unstable, you may not be able to be in a room with them. They may not be able to hold a knife, but it doesn't mean they're not a victim. And I think it's the same with Poppy.
Okay, yeah, I get it.
Right? Where it's like, she was antagonizing them, but even then, I think she was a victim of the house.
Okay, and yeah, that's the one thing I would have liked. Although, I don't know if it would have felt out of place or what exactly it would have, how it would have looked, was the, just kind of like a little bit of the backstory.
I kind of like that they didn't, though. And I know that seems like a cop-out, but here's why. I think they explained enough to where we can understand. And then the biggest point to me was that, like, especially if, I don't know if you had the idea of doing this as an anthology series early on, but if you're going to do an anthology series, it's like you're taking these icons, these things, these houses of horror, right? And you're just covering, like, a snippet. And that's what I kind of like, where it's like you're just taking a snapshot of this, like, creepy, ancient thing. And you just see a little bit. You're not going to get all the answers because this thing's been around for 400 or 500 years. You're just going to get this little snippet of this little house and these characters. And you get the full arc of the characters, but you don't get all of the story of the house because, I don't know. Like, I kind of like that of it. You know what I mean?
No, I do think that they did it smart, but I still would have liked.
Yeah, I get you.
You know what I mean?
I'm just big all dumb and artsy. Yeah, we're reacting to Blind Manor. It's up on Patreon, and then episode 1 is coming out Sunday, if you guys are wondering. Somebody was saying they're old enough to be our grandma. That's sweet, I guess.
I don't know, I missed the comment.
I believe the ghost can only follow people who have been inside the house, outside of the house. Here's my question. Why weren't the Dudleys affected?
What do you mean?
Like, why didn't they go crazy and die in the whatever, 30 years, 20 years that passed? Like, the kids could barely stay in the house. My question is, like, why didn't the house do something to them? Nell goes in the house for 5 minutes and she commits suicide. Like, why were the Dudleys okay staying in the house for that long?
This is one of the things that's why I was thinking of, like, a lot of the ghosts outside the house for trauma is because the Dudleys, when they left, were fine, right? They were fine when they left the house. That's what they said.
Yeah, everybody's saying it's because they stayed during the day? Yeah, but then do they get to see their daughter during the day? Because we didn't really see any of the ghosts at night either.
What do you mean?
Like, they stayed because they wanted to stay with Abigail.
Mm-hmm.
But we didn't see any ghosts during the day. So wouldn't they have to stay at night to spend time with Abigail? This is, like, real nitpicky. I just didn't really understand.
Oh, you mean during the day?
Yeah. Rejoice, it was Mrs. Hill, or whoever, Mr. Dudley's mom, I think. Thank you so much, Jackson. Hey guys, just wanted to pop in and say hello whenever I get free time. I'm amped for the Destination of Smog reaction on Patreon. Have a great stream. Thank you so much, dude.
Thank you, Jackson.
Thank you so much for the super chat, man. You're awesome. Abigail's grandmother. Oh, a bunch of people were saying too that Mr. Dudley is related to Mr. Hill.
Okay, so
that's the theory. So the idea is that he was cheating on Poppy, and that's why when he was talking about, like, I used to hear my mom go running outside and, like, laughing like a schoolgirl in love and stuff, that he was, like, cheating with her, and that's who Mr. Dudley was like the illegitimate child.
Yeah, okay.
And it's also because he always lived there, like, you know, the whole idea of, like, oh, I always lived at this house, blah 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 stuff.
Okay, I gotcha. But, okay. I'm just wondering, one of my thoughts was that the reason why wait,
Also, I'm totally wrong. The clock mechanic was there during the day. I'm gonna shut up. You see ghosts during the day. I was totally wrong about that.
Yeah, I feel like you can see the ghost during the day. I mean, because first of all, we see. I don't know if like the hitting ghosts count as actual ghosts, but also we saw the grandma, or who was that?
Yeah. We did. We saw a few different things like that. Yeah.
And stuff during the day, but I feel like maybe they can't like do anything to you during the day or something like that, right?
Yeah.
Maybe it's something like that. I don't know. But anyway, one of the thoughts that I had was that maybe why the family was more affected than usual than other people, maybe that were in the house, maybe like the Dudleys or something, is that they were kind of psychic or something like that.
That's true. Like, maybe it does have to do with, just like Poppy was kind of crazy. Like, low-key, maybe it is like people are more affected than others, and then the house kind of preys on that.
Maybe, because this the one thing is they kept bringing
it
up.
That's actually a really good point. That is probably why, and especially the mom, because she was especially psychic, and then maybe, a little bit unstable, and so it kind of preyed on that. Thank you so much, Tawny. What's up? I don't watch this kind of stuff, but I wanted to stop by and at least support y'all. Also wondering if the Harry Potter book reacts will be on YouTube. Most likely, we totally fell behind on that, so what we're most likely going to do with those is we're going to do the first book and just see how the response is, and if there's enough of a audience still remaining from the Harry Potter reactions, we'll continue with those as like extra videos. What did you think of Liv's episode? Do you think it was a metaphor for postpartum depression that mothers specifically go through? I mean, look, there's metaphors for the whole show, which is something I really wanted to talk to too. But like, not like stuff sometimes does like dumb metaphors, like, oh, see, it's really a metaphor for, like, I think that they did it well enough to where it wasn't dumb, because they also dealt with it in world as well as out. They weren't just like, it's sad person sees ghosts and then that means they're depressed and they wound the two together where it was almost inseparable, what was metaphor and what was like reality. But there are, I think, huge themes in this show about a lot of stuff. But I guess we can do the mom first. I mean, I don't know.
Okay.
Do you think that's what it is? I mean, I think that was a huge part of it.
I feel like that was one of the biggest parts, and I feel like, I do feel like that was one of the biggest parts, and maybe the house was taking advantage of that, of her going through that, maybe.
Yeah, and I think that was kind of the point of the show. Like, that whole arc got resolved when the dad was like, they have to. You can't protect your child from everything. They have to grow up. And guess what? Stuff sucks, but because stuff sucks, stuff is also great.
Yeah.
Like, there has to be... This is so, like, artist cringy, so bear with me here, but there's a freaking Khaled Gibran poem. It's like, I don't like poetry. It's one of the few poems I like, okay? And the idea of the poem is that he's like, I want my life to be a tear and a smile, because, like, if everything is perfect, then you don't appreciate. Like, it's like that high and low that you really appreciate the good things. And I think that was kind of the point with the dad, and that was kind of the message with that whole mother storyline.
Yeah, it's kind of like, because there's evil, there's heroes, or something like that. It's like, well,
look, they're going to go through rough stuff, but they also go through great things, and you have to let them go. Like, that is part of it. You can't protect them from everything. Because the bad things that happen to you in life are what make you who you are. And, of course, you don't ever want them to happen, but they're going to happen.
Yeah. And
that's what makes you a better, stronger person.
But that can't stop you from living, you know?
Yeah, exactly, which is like, in our the reality applicable, like, you can't not live, and then in the show literally not live. But I do think that is the point. It's like, you can't just hide away. You have to live. You have to live your life. You have to go out and live your life. So yeah, I totally think that was a metaphor for that, and a few, like I said, kind of going out and living your life, and kind of parenthood and mentorship in general, where it's like, the tendency is to either tell them too much and be buddy-buddy, or protect them and not tell them enough. And that's really damaging, I think. And I think that if you really want to take the metaphor real far, you could even go into the idea that because she tried to shelter them, it actually damaged them. They weren't prepared for the real world. Because I've actually seen, like, in real, like, talking real talk, I've seen that happen.
Yeah.
And in the show, you do see that happen, right? Although, I mean, you know, Nell kills herself.
Yeah.
Like, these kids clearly have effects, and a lot of that is kind of from the mom trying to protect them.
I feel like that is one of the big themes, and maybe what they were going for, at least what I saw, was, the act of trying to prevent them from, you know, growing up, or trying to, you know, whatever, let go of them. The act of trying to prevent that, kind of, it harmed them, right, for the future. And then also, if you want to speak in the story itself, her trying to kill them to, you know, almost like stunt their growth or something, or like keep them in time in that certain space, it literally prevented them from, you know, it killed them.
Yeah.
It like harmed them, literally. Yeah. And so it's like, I feel like it is kind of, you know, a metaphor for that, of overprotection, sort of.
Yeah.
And then just always trying to, you know, keep the world out or something like that, right? Yeah.
Mythic Lesbian, thank you so much. Thank you so much. Oh my gosh, $15. Thank you so much. Okay. The house could be a metaphor for addiction too. Those with a genetic predisposition for addiction are more susceptible, and taking a break from the house always allows some clarity as sobering up. Yeah, you know, somebody put a question earlier in the chat that I thought was really interesting, and I promise you I'm going to tie this back. About like as animators and filmmakers, storytellers, whatever, do we think that like every single detail in a show should be answered? And I don't think so. And I also really like art that I feel like, you know, I've even created things where it's like I have one meaning behind it, but there are a few different things that different people will take out of this, and that's why I think that's a really good judgment for a really good movie, in my opinion, right? We just watched Lord of the Rings, same thing with that. Like, different people will pull out different things of the story that are equally profound. It's not like a one-to-one metaphor a lot of times, and I think that if people try and psychoanalyze directors, sometimes are like, oh, Steven Spielberg stubbed his toe when he was 5, all of his characters stubbed their toe. It's like that really isn't how it works. And if you ever made a movie, you'd be so surprised how much has to do with shit that you screwed up. You forgot to do a shot. You forgot to do this thing. Like, I've even seen directors own up to it, be like, yeah, as much as I wanted that to be an artistic thing, totally was coincidence. So I think that a sign of really good art is that you can take... Everybody can kind of take something different, as long as it's not completely different. That's when you know you're doing something wrong. It's like, I think this means this, and then on the other side of the spectrum means something else. But, you know, generally in the same. Like, I think different people will take slightly different meanings.
Yeah.
Anyway, I'm sorry. I'm in a rambling mood tonight. Bringing that back to Layla's super chat and question, I do think that's true. I think you could take a million different things out of the show, because I do think there's a lot of different commentary on a lot of different very real human problems, and different people. Like, I really related to the family element and the parenting element, and that's just from personal. So I think different people will relate to different parts of it and draw out different meanings and different things, and that's why I think it's a good show, because it's dense.
Yeah,
you know?
It is. It's packed.
But I don't know. I don't know if that answers your question.
Really quick, Jasmine Sanchez has a... because I saw this mentioned before, and I think you mentioned it before, about what do you think of the siblings representing the stages of grief?
Yeah, I think that's totally right. And I think even in a less metaphorical way, it's just like different ways of dealing with stuff.
Yeah, you know, and I think that's cool that they kind of, you know, explored grief in that way. I feel like a lot of times, you know, it seems very simple, but it's a lot, you know? I feel like in each one of those things, right, like the denial and anger and all that, each one of those things has, like, you know, there's just a lot in each one of those, you know, to the point where you can make characters out of them.
Yeah, I agree. Tawny, thank you so much for the super chat again. Oh my gosh. Forgot to ask, wondering if y'all have done the subscriber reacts video and I missed it, or is it still coming? I'll stop interrupting. No, you're totally fine. I bit off a lot more than I can chew, as I'm sure you guys can tell, and I'm still trying to handle some of that. So, I think that's coming at some point. I'm kind of behind on it. This whole thing blew up faster than I thought it was going to, and so the workload kind of exploded more than I thought it was going to. Anyway, it's a giant excuse, but yes, it is coming. at some point down the future, and I thank you all for being patient. Did you guys think Olivia realized her mistake after dying and just selfishly wanted her family as company afterwards? I'll be alone again in the last episode. Made me think of that. I don't think she really ever completely realized her mistake until she talked to the dad at the end.
Yeah, that was interesting because it's almost like there wasn't a real redemption arc for the mom. You know what I'm saying? Because we saw her spiral downwards, and even at the end, she was still one of the main antagonistic forces.
Yeah, but also I think, and I don't know if you got this impression, I got the impression that as a ghost, she wasn't, like, it's not as, it's not, you're not like a human that's still alive. Like, it's more of like I would imagine if ghosts were real, it would be like because you have a purpose or a thing or whatever that you want to do, a strong emotion, a feeling. So I feel like her in ghost form was almost more of an echo of her actual self. So it was less like thinking, reasoning human being still rejected this idea and was selfish and wanted to have her kids back. It was more like that was this thing that she died thinking, and then as a ghost she was just alone and she just didn't want to be alone. Like, she wanted her kids and she wanted to protect them. It was kind of like an echo of that. It was more like that desire as opposed to like a fully formed consciousness.
Like, yeah, I get you. It could be, like because of that one regret or that one emotion, she kind of is stuck in time almost at that point, kind of.
Yeah.
Kind of feels like that just because, also the kids themselves, when they died and staying kids, not growing up, kind of has that same idea.
Yeah. I also kind of wonder about if any ghost is actually evil in the end. No, I mean, we talked about it a little bit.
Yeah.
I don't think they're all really evil. I don't think any of them are really. Even Poppy wasn't straight up evil. Did you notice that when Olivia is herself, she's wearing blue or other colors, but when she's controlled / corrupted by the house, she's shown in red? I always thought that even the apparitions of her in red weren't her. Maybe I'm wrong. Because, like, look, the house, like, actually screwed, like it wasn't the mom hanging Nell, right? Like, does anybody... I don't think that. Or that changes the whole dynamic of the show. I always thought it was the house showing her mom, because she had died there. Holy crap. Eric Horstman. Oh my gosh, dude. Thank you so much.
Holy.
Dude. Oh my gosh. What the heck?
My man just hit him with
$50? Dude. Thank you so much. Oh my gosh. Newbie to the live streams. Dude, I don't care. You can write me an essay. We're going to talk about all of it. To me, the main metaphor for at least Nell and Olivia is depression. When Theo touched Nell, she felt nothing, just blackness, emptiness, wasn't able to fill herself up. Olivia touched on losing all the colors except one. Yeah, for sure. I mean, I think depression is a huge part of suicide, right? So, I mean, that's always going to be an inherent kind of... Like, in the actual world, that's a huge part in all of that.
Yeah.
So I think kind of inherently, Nell and Olivia's storyline is going to really heavily have to do with that,
I can definitely see that in Nell.
I think it is a little more in Nell, though, than the mom, to be honest. I agree the mom a little bit, but I think a lot more in Nell. I think the mom's main thing was really the postpartum, wanting to be a good mother a little too much and kind of smothering her kids. I don't know. What do you think about the depression metaphor with Nell, though?
No, yeah. I mean, obviously, I think she represents a sort of... Well...
I don't know. I've been blabbing all night, so...
I'm trying to think, because... Yeah, I would... Well, because when we were talking about the stages of grief or whatever... I didn't see the complete comment, but who was depression? Was that Luke?
I don't know. You have to scroll up. I don't know. Or you can tell us in the chat if you guys want.
Yeah, because I was thinking about Nell representing depression, but then I was like, no, I'm not sure. I don't remember what it was. It is Luke as depression and Nell as acceptance. Okay, I see. Yeah, I mean, I feel like one of those things is that,
everybody shout out to Eric Horseman, by the way, please. Everybody shout out to him.
Yeah, I mean, obviously, like, when there is suicide involved, like, of course, depression is one of those things where, like, is just linked to that, right?
Yeah.
But that's also, if we want to consider what the story was telling us, like, what Luke and everyone else was telling us, we don't know, well, like, did Nell truly want to kill herself? You know what I mean?
In the show, no.
And do you think it was, like, they're trying to represent a sort of suicide from Nell?
I think so. Especially because, you know, she didn't really have anything in her life, right? She you know, she didn't really have anything to live for. I guess if she had killed, like you know, that, like, the mental space that she was in when she died is very much that of somebody who was depressed, who, you know, would actually commit suicide and all that kind of stuff, right? And her husband dying was huge, and that was just kind of like a nail in the coffin, so to speak.
Yeah. That's why I'm just wondering if Luke is depression, Nell is acceptance. Are we saying Nell is acceptance because of the fact that after she died, or she never really...
well, we're dealing with them, like, not
mom,
throughout
right?
the plot, right? So I feel like she is one of the few people that accepted the existence of the ghosts, right? And in that way, she's acceptance because she was the closest to it. I feel like she accepted it the most, like that being a reality.
Okay, yeah, I get you.
Whereas Luke ran from it and was kind of depressed.
That is true.
Right, denial, right? Like,
okay.
Like in the context of their adult selves in reaction to the original Hill House incident. Okay, I do think there are very, very heavy metaphors for depression as far as Nell is concerned, though, in the actuality of the story.
Yeah, I feel like that. Yeah, they were kind of going for that.
And I thought she was a really interesting character because I've never seen, or I can't think of any off the top of my head of a show that deals with somebody who gives too much. And I think that's very interesting, and I know maybe it's, I guess, because there's a lot of selfish humans out in the world that's not something you always deal with, but it is an interesting thing, and I have seen, like, I know a few people who are very, like, hey, dude, you are giving all of your time and effort and money to other people, and you're exhausted and tired and worn out, and you're not taking care of yourself. Yeah. And I thought that was a very interesting character trait.
Yeah, I know a few characters like that, and I think that is one, like, a quote-unquote flaw that some, you know, people have, like, not... It's almost something that you need to overcome because, of course, you want to do things for other people, but it's that complete selflessness that, like, sometimes will bring harm to you, and you have to realize kind of that bringing harm to yourself while trying to help other people will also harm people. You know, it's that whole, you try to give something you're actually taking from somewhere else, you know? Yeah. Yeah. So it is cool. It is a cool sort of, like, character to, like, explore, and there's usually not many characters that are kind of like that, you know, a completely selfless character. There is characters like, oh yes, they are very whatever, nice, kind, selfless, but we never get that whole flaw side of it where they're selfless to a point where it's a flaw, you know,
which I really liked because I think that is a thing.
Which is cool.
Oh my gosh, Eric,
what are you doing?
Dude, oh my gosh, Eric Horstman, you are the GOAT, dude. Thank you a bajillion times. Oh my gosh, dude. Everybody give Eric love right now.
What's going on?
Oh my goodness. Okay, one of my friends asked me which of the kids did I identify with. Basically, everyone can at least identify with at least one of 5. I chose Theo because I'm basically a brick wall. Who would you choose? I feel like here's the best way to do it is to choose 2 of the 5 kids and then say which you're closer to. So it's like, I'm between this, and then, you know, I lean towards whatever. I don't know. Do you want to go first?
No, I don't, because I gotta think. I gotta think about this.
I feel like... Ooh. I identify with Steve. For sure. I'm probably Theo. Like, between the 2 of them. Because I do really I understand, like, Steve holding a grudge. I really get that. And, like, kind of that resentment that he holds and being like, dude, that's, like, your job. Like, it's your job to take care of us or do whatever. And kind of, like, holding... Obviously, he was wrong, but I understand how he was, like, holding his dad accountable. And then there's also a part of me that really relates to the idea, like, Theo, of just kind of being like, yeah, this situation sucks, but I'm not going to be dumb and stubborn and, like, not take the money because of morals. Like, some of that stuff, I was like, I totally get. Like, I would have done the same thing, where it's like, what are we doing? Like, yeah, not a great situation. I'm not going to turn down money. I'm going to turn it into a good thing. Like, what am I doing? You know, like, some of that where it was almost more practical and not as, like, emotional or, like, morally stubborn on, like, certain things that were just being stubborn to be stubborn.
Yeah, but that's cool.
I don't know. What about you?
I'm trying to think. I would have to say one of... Yeah, I think Nell is definitely, like, one of the flaws that I have, is kind of, like, thinking that I can do things and just wanting people to kind of be happy, but not realizing that I just can't do those things, you know, for them. And, like, I want certain things to happen so that these people are happy.
Yeah.
But, like,
not being able to literally do it.
Yeah, there's too much I already, you know, do. And then you end up, like, either disappointing those people or, like...
Yeah.
Like, for example, like, if I give up too much of my time to try to help other people out, animation-wise, whatever, then, like, at home, you know, where it'd be my brother, my little sister, right? They're like, oh, you know, you don't have any time, you know what I'm saying? So it's kind of like that, and I feel like I never really understood that, like, you could be, like, you know, too giving. Like, it never even crossed my mind, but then I started to, like, realize that, like, yo, like... it's actually a problem, you know? You can't be promising these things and trying to do these things, and in the end, you just... It's almost like you have to learn almost to be a little bit selfish. Which sounds weird.
No.
And it's like, oh, why? Why would you do it? But it's, like, true. It's, like, a really... And it was so hard for me to, like, learn that. Like, what?
Because selfishness is not always bad.
No, it's not. It's 100% not.
I completely agree.
And so I think Nell and... I'm thinking, like, Shirley or something. I'm trying to think of my second one.
Shirley pissed me off, man. I did not like Shirley.
Darn.
She annoyed me. Sorry.
No, I
don't mean to call you out here.
No, Shirley pissed me off, too.
I was like, damn it, Shirley. You and your dumb morals,
bro. Well, because, she, like...
before she was even being hypocritical, I was annoyed at her, okay? Like, her being hypocritical was obviously super annoying, but, like, before she was even being hypocritical, I was just like, bro, stop being on your little high horse about being all, It's like, no.
Yeah,
you need to learn how to adapt with situations, okay? There is no, like unless it is this huge moral, like if Theo had cheated and she was like, get out of my house, like actually cheated and had been like, get out of my house, I get that, right? Like you can, like when a certain line is crossed, but the lines that were crossed, it wasn't that. And it was like, dude, you can't just like, you can't just like sit on your high horse and then not be able to like adapt. I don't know. It annoyed me.
Yeah, it just felt like. I mean, obviously, after she, like, knowing that she cheated, when I saw that like guy like sitting there, like, I was like, dude, are you serious, man? Like, you're gonna right? It's that whole like projecting.
Also,
thing.
her husband was so good. Oh my gosh. Can we get love in the chat? I forget his name, but can we get love in the chat for Shirley's husband? He was the best character of the show. He didn't do anything bad to anyone.
It was kind of funny.
He took the money. That's it. They needed it. That was a reasonable move on my part. Dishonest, but a reasonable move. He didn't do anything else bad.
Yeah. That's one thing. She also had that sort of like small tinge of Nell of like wanting to help those people out, right? That needed whatever, coffins or what. I don't exactly know what they needed, right?
Yeah.
And then her husband was like, no, we don't have the money. We're not made of money.
Well, once again, it's the morals over practicality.
Yeah.
It was like, bro, you can't like.
It's like you have to understand that
you can't give up reality to just be more. Not like moral. That's not. I don't believe that.
No, it's trying to like feel to make yourself feel like you're.
Yeah, like you can't give stuff to other people when you don't have stuff to give.
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
Yeah, it is. It's not actually being moral. It's like trying to feel moral.
Yeah,
You're right.
Yeah.
You're right.
It is like that.
Oh my gosh, Tawny, thank you so much. His name's Kevin. There we go. Love in the chat for Kevin. Tawny, thank you so much. Take y'all's time on videos. Y'all are awesome. Thank you.
Yeah, thanks, Tawny, for even watching us.
You don't even watch freaking Hill House, and you're still popping in and freaking super chatting. What a goat! I love the husband at the funeral. Wait. Who's the bent neck lady?
Yeah.
Imagine?
That's exactly what I was going for, Sarah. Like, I love seeing like Kevin just sitting there, like in this whole mess of things. Like, wait, hold up, let me catch up,
dude. And even like Theo called him out for it, but him just being like, "What do you want? Iced tea? Freaking drink? I got you. I was like, dude, if I was in that situation, I'd be like, shit, I'm not getting in your family drama. What do you want?
Yeah.
Cheetos? I got you.
He felt so real, like those people.
Dude, all of the family interactions were so on point.
That is true.
Oh my goodness gracious. If you were in the husband's position, would you forgive your wife for cheating on you years ago? Oh, I don't want to think about that.
Once again, a big shout out to Kevin, though.
Yeah, I don't know. I feel like that's one of those things where you won't really know till you're in the moment. Because I feel like the biggest thing would be trust and how much of the years it would undermine. And I feel like some of that is kind of a feeling. I don't want to say trust is... You know how like at a certain point... Like maybe it would go away.
It's kind of like...
It's one of those things you can't really ever make a call on until you're there.
Well, it's kind of like... you can't blame people for not forgiving. Because it is kind of like... I feel like it's an emotional thing. Right?
Yeah.
And it is a trust thing. And so you are like betraying somebody. Right?
Yeah.
And so... Like, I can't say, like, oh, no, you should do this or you shouldn't do this. I just feel like it shows, like, how strong of a person Kevin is, which is interesting, because usually...
Yeah, you can't judge him on the lack of forgiveness, but its existence, almost.
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah. I don't know. I hope I'm as good of a man as Kevin. or honestly, actually, second place, or maybe first place, is Steve's wife. Because she didn't do anything, right? Where, like, Kevin did lie, but she didn't do anything.
Yeah. Both of them.
And I almost feel like her wanting to have kids was more important. Not that it was more important, but like to her, it was much more personal, and so the fact that Steve did what he did was more of a personal attack against her, as opposed to like a fall and an effect of their marriage. Like it was more of like he lied to her face about this thing that he knew she really, 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 really cared about for years.
Yeah, I feel like it definitely. I'd say in that sense, Steve did mess up bigger because it was more of a deceptive, a long-running deceptive sort of
Yeah, because I'm sure it was brought up. It was like an ongoing lie, whereas opposed to the other one was like a lie by exclusion, so to speak, right? Like it's almost like
it was like you're not lying. You're not taking the effort to create the lie. You're just avoiding it and not saying the truth, right? Whereas Steve was continuous lying, right?
Yeah.
And so I just want to say that they married some good people. Like
for sure.
Like, holy
like
crap.
all of them. I felt the most bad for Nell though, honestly.
Yeah, like so
because Nell didn't do anything to anybody.
So like, did her husband just die of natural like?
I think so.
Really?
I think so.
That's kind of sucky.
That's how would the house just straight kill him?
Yeah, that's just so unlucky then.
Because the house never did like unnatural, right? Like think about it. The house never did anything that was like, oh, I'm gonna stab you with a knife, like out of nowhere. Like everybody did things to themselves, or were tricked into doing something to themselves, or to killing the whatever Abigail. Like it wasn't like his neck just like
killed people.
I think it was just an aneurysm.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, Eric, what?
Eric, what is going on?
What?
Who is this Eric person?
Eric, what? You've never been in the live streams. Who are you? Tell us about yourself. What the heck, dude?
Well, we don't know though. What if he has?
Thank you so much, dude. Oh my goodness gracious. What?
Wait, what is going on? Hold on.
Talk about better than all of the kids' wives and husbands in all of the show. Eric Horstman right here. If you were one of the kids, would you have taken the money from Steven's book? Yeah, 100%. 100%.
I don't know. I got to get into the.
I would have. That's where I so related to Theo, where I was like, everybody else, shut up. Like, look, I don't agree with it. I think you were dumb for doing it or whatever, but it's our story. It's our right. You already did it. Me being pissed about it isn't going to change it. Might as well take the money.
I think I would have had more like personal talk with Steve,
I would have too.
And just been like, hey, like, I understand that you need some money,
Yeah.
and you're trying to become a writer. Like, okay, I understand that, but like, I'd probably like ask him like maybe don't try not to twist the details as much. Don't really, expose certain things. Maybe I don't know. Like it's kind of getting to that point where you're almost exposing a tragic thing for like money. So I'd be like limit it a bit, and then I'll take some money. Also, like I see the big mistake I think that like Theo made was lying about it. Like I would have been, look, I'm gonna take the money. I think you guys, I disagree with you guys, and I would have been like, look, and here's why. Because look, he wrote the book, and people are like, like they kind of treated it like blood money, right? But whose blood money is it? It's not. It's yours, right? Like, think about it. If you're a kid, if you were one of the kids, it was written about you. So the blood money is yours almost, right? Like, it is you. Yeah, it is just a little touchy. That's all. Because, of course, it has some emotional linkage and stuff like that. And like that's why I could see some people like Shirley, not just for the fact of being, more morally upstanding, but just like being uncomfortable with that story and stuff, and just because of how much it affected their lives and all that. Yeah. But like if Steve already did it, like I don't think it's the worst thing in the world. It's kind of just like, well, it just happened. Okay. I might not agree with it too much, but like whatever, Yeah. Strawberry, do you guys have a Discord? Or is the Discord a Patreon exclusive? No. And no, we don't yet. We have a whole list of like stuff we need to do. Crap I need to do. I mean, look, dude. Mods in the chat, Hatsy Patsy, KN. If you guys are down, like if there's people down to mod the Discord, then that's something I could do in the next few weeks, and I will have to figure out whether it's going to be a Patreon perk or something like that. I got to figure that out. But I don't know. I mean, you guys tell me. Really, it's dependent on if there's mods, because I do not have the resources or the time to take care of a Discord. And if we did do a Discord, I really want it to be a cool Discord that can continue these discussions and we can talk about stuff. And I don't want to have to worry about trolls or people coming in and spamming and doing random stuff like that. I looked at Chai Bean's post, and then I went up to Charlotte's question.
Where?
What do you think what your red room would look like or whatever?
Was it like your greatest desire? Did they explicitly say what it was?
I'm assuming it was something that you needed at the time or something, maybe?
Because for the kids, it was almost more... For what we saw, it was almost an escape. Right? For everybody, right? It was the mom...
The reading room for the mom.
Like, it was kind of just like a way for everybody to detox in their own specific way. So if that's true, then it would just be like a mega 50-inch theater. Like, huge screen. I don't know. That, or like an editing... No, because I wouldn't be peaceful in an editing room. I don't know. Or like a tropical hammock. I don't know. I'm serious,
just
dude. Like
gaming room, you know.
I don't know. I don't know. What would it be for you?
I think it'd be like a hot springs room.
Hot springs.
Yeah, chilling there next to a river. Oof. Yeah, I was thinking it was something like the room of requirement or something like. It felt like that. I don't know.
It felt a little less dramatic though. It wasn't like, "What is your deepest desire?" It was kind of just like
it's kind of like, yeah, like what do you need to relax? It was
kind of like a recourse. Yeah. It's just like a hot box for weed. No.
You're trolling out here.
Oh my gosh. I don't know. Is there any stuff that you wanted to talk about it coming out of it?
What do you mean?
About the show or anything like that? Or should we chat? Should we react to this hidden ghost thing? It's up to you guys.
I definitely had something to say.
Did I tangent us?
No, you didn't tangent us. It just happens naturally, you know. We go off on, we talk about stuff. I mentioned the hot springs.
You're gonna remember all of it immediately after?
You know, yeah.
Cut the stream. Oh, this is all the crap I remembered. What scene did you think was the scariest or the creepiest?
Besides the car scene.
The car scene wasn't scary. It was like a jump scare, but it wasn't actually the creepiest, I would say.
Nah, I wrote a whole essay about horror, terror, and creepiness.
Oh, well, you gotta break it down. Let's go.
If I remember. Okay. It was like something like horror was something that could harm you or something.
Okay.
Like I don't know, what was it?
Thank you, Tawny. Thank you so much. You have a great night, too.
Good night, Tawny. Yeah, it was something that could bring you pain and that you know that can harm you.
Okay.
Terror was... No. Horror was like something like unknown. Like you didn't know about it, but it could still, it could harm you. You don't, it's like not like natural, but it can harm you or something. Terror was like a robber, like something real. Or something like that. I don't know. I'm getting those two mixed up.
No. I agree. I think terror is like when you're in fear it is fear for your life, right?
Yeah.
So it's like, it's an immediate threat. Like if somebody held a gun to you, I would be terrified. I wouldn't be horrified.
Yeah.
Horror is more like unknown.
Well, creepy was what is unknowing if that thing might hurt you or not, or just something that is unnatural.
Yeah.
Right?
Horror, I feel like, is when you see it, right? Because, like, think about, like, when you're horror, like, I mean, there's this disgusting element, which is, like, I feel like disgusting is the extreme of horror, though. Like, when you see something, you are horrified, right? So it's like, oh, if I saw, like, a ghost walking toward me, I'd be terrified.
Yeah.
If I saw a ghost, like, cut somebody's head off, I would be horrified. Right? So it's almost like horror is a reaction to something terrifying. Ooh.
Yeah.
Almost. Horror is your reaction to the reveal of something terrifying or something. I don't know.
But you wouldn't be, like, for me, I'm not horrified of a robber or someone, like,
I'd be horrified if a robber shot someone else. I would be terrified if he held the gun to my head, but if he shot somebody else, I'd be horrified. So it's almost like when you see terror, like when you see someone else in terror, it is horror, right? Because horror movies, right? It's scary because you're watching other people be terrified.
Yeah.
And then when you're put in their shoes, you are terrified. It's not as, I don't know.
Hold on, wait, never mind.
It's all janky and philosophical.
We gotta go back to the question. So, what was their creepy moments? Besides the car scene, like that's why I don't think the car scene. It was a jump
scare, and I was scared, but it wasn't creepy. I think was when they were in the funeral home and the wall started getting banged on, because you could see Cheryl and Theo be like, oh my gosh, like you saw that moment.
I think that might have been Nell, to be honest.
I don't know. I remember I still wasn't sure what it was. I don't know why those shot, like the way it sounded freaked me out so much, but it freaked me out a ton. Thank you so much, Shad Hurdle. We're gonna answer. Oh my gosh, everybody. Okay, thank you guys for the super chat. I promise you, we're trying to thoroughly answer everybody. I promise you, we will answer you. I don't know. What was your creepiest moment?
I think like the cat scene, the little kittens. That was a little weird.
Oh, when the bug came out of the mouth.
Yeah, and the eyes opened up, and it was all like. A little bit freaky. I was like, whoa, okay.
That was really freaky. I agree.
That would have messed me up a little bit, as a kid. Okay.
Hugh was an amazing dad. You guys should watch the Hidden Ghost video. Shad, if you hang around for maybe 15 minutes, we're going to. We're going to watch it on stream as part of the stream plan because all of you guys were asking for it. So we're like, screw it. This is a Haunting of Hill House celebration. Let's do it. Oh my gosh, Eric, you are the best. You've just paid for my coffee for the next year. Nell paraphrasing, you take our stories, but say Mom was crazy, I was crazy, Luke was crazy, and make so much money. Don't think Steven described them very well. I would have kicked his ass. Yeah.
That's the one thing. Well, this is the problem is I don't know what exactly was in the books and stuff, what exactly was written. So it's like hard for me to kind of judge from knowing, from seeing what Nell kind of says. I feel like, right, it's understandable as to why someone might get, mad that what you're doing, writing these stories. And it really depends on how the family's kind of portrayed, right?
I feel like I would have said that to him, though. I feel like I would have been like, yo, you did this. I'm not okay with this. None of us are okay with this. And, I know that me saying this isn't going to stop you, so I'm going to take your money. But don't think taking this money is in any way validating justifying what you did.
Yeah.
It, if anything, is compensating for the further damage that you've done by lying about it.
Yeah, I agree.
But I also think it is kind of dumb to just be like, no, this money is here, we shall not take it. It's like, look, he's going to do it. He did it. It was a sucky thing to do.
Yeah, I feel like the timing is one of the
silver lining, like what Theo did. Like, she did it and she used it for a good thing. It's great.
Yeah, and she saved,
she paid for school. She got a job.
She saved people.
She got her life back together. Somebody was asking what our favorite moment of the show was. I don't know why this was one of my favorite moments, and it was, like, so heartbreaking, was when Nell... Obviously, her monologue, which I keep talking about, but when she was doing it, and she was talking about how... Oh, what was she talking about? What, time. Yeah, when she was talking about time, and she was like, oh, it's more like this or this. And then the way she said confetti, and, like, you just saw, like, little girl Nell and adult Nell and this happy, like, amazing, smiling, like, pure human being that she could have been, that was, like, that broke my heart. I was like, that was amazing.
Yeah. I really did enjoy her speech at the end there. Like, one of those lines that really hit me was the... how Theo was like, sorry, or who was it, Shirley, I think, was like, sorry, I didn't pick up your call, right?
Yeah.
And her saying that, yeah, you picked up
so many times.
So many others, you know? It is, so it's kind of like, it's not, you can't think of time as linear, and just because you didn't do something at one point doesn't mean you didn't love me, you know? And I like seeing that. It's interesting, the way that she kind of described their love for each other and all that.
Yeah. What do you think about Steve, though? Because people are kind of judging Steve after what he did now, it seems like. I don't... See, I mean, I also take the second part of the show as kind of him writing another book, right?
It sounded like that.
And I do think he actually believed they were crazy. right? That is the other thing. I do think he was in denial, and he did believe elements of that weren't true. And I think that where he really went wrong is that he didn't consult the children, but he did believe that they were crazy. He did. He actually did.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like a lot of it, to me, was the timing. Like, do I agree with what Steve did? It's hard to say. I don't really... I would be annoyed, and I don't necessarily agree with, trying to, get some money for a tragic thing that happened to our family, right? It feels a little bit off.
Yeah, but is it, like, let's look at it from his point of view. That happened to him as a kid. This is something that influentially affected his life forever. Wouldn't you write about that? I would. If I was a writer, I would write about, like, that's a huge moment in your life.
You have to keep in mind that Steve isn't writing about this to tell his story or to, whatever, help someone else maybe. That's not his intentions. His intentions were he doesn't have money, so he's going to try to make a quick buck sort of thing.
We don't see that, though.
I think it felt like that.
I don't know, because he tried to move on from it, too. See, I think obviously that's going to be an inherent part of it, but that wasn't all of it, because we never saw the full story. And the fact that he continued to do books like that and still found something in it and, like, moved on from it, and the fact that he didn't, like, keep going to Hill House or do, like, 1,000,000 sequels, to me shows that it wasn't all about money. And I think he did tell his part of that story. I think that the crime was that he was inconsiderate of the other kids, but I don't think it was a purely malicious money-grabbing move, and that's a big difference.
Yeah, that's true, I guess.
Right? Like, between being inconsiderate and being, like, I don't know.
I do think... Yeah, it is... I think we do, at least I do forget that Steve is also a victim, right? And he also went through stuff, with the house and all that. And I feel like you're right that his main crime is just how he kind of portrayed maybe the other kids and maybe wasn't as respectful as he should have been. The thing is, the timing of it, I don't quite remember. It's kind of like, did Cheryl and did Nell... I know Nell, like, did her whole shindig after the fact, right? At one of the reading things. And then, I feel like you kind of got to go beforehand and, like, let them know, you know what I'm saying? Not, like, as the book's already published or things like that, right?
Yeah.
It's kind of one of those things where it's like, well, if you truly feel like you disagree with it and you truly, feel like you are insulted by whatever he is writing, you wouldn't wait months until it was actually published to be like, I don't agree with this or something like that, right?
Yeah.
I think
to be fair, though, something that I saw somebody say is that he wasn't really asking for forgiveness. He was just asking for permission.
I think I saw that comment. It was something like, he was looking for acceptance to write it instead of permission.
Which I think is fair, though. Like, it is his story to tell. And
I feel like
he did tell his side of the story. Like, he did actually think they were crazy. He's not wrong.
Yeah. I do think it is his side of the story. The main thing is, I feel like you do have to respect certain people's boundaries.
Of course. I just think it's important to point out that it's a big difference between he wrote an evil novel and, like, he dealt with his grief and expressed himself and was, like, inconsiderate about his siblings. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Oh, goodness. Sarah was allergic to something in her dinner?
Oh, jeez.
Goodness. Careful there.
Careful, people.
Yeah, man. People with allergies.
Dang,
happens.
Dude, freaking hereditary, man.
Oh, let's not even talk about that.
Alright, do you want to watch the ghost video?
I'm down.
Everybody down? Alright.
Alright, let's see if we can do this
I say we do this without exposing our livelihoods. Okay. We're going to watch the hidden ghost video, and all of you guys are going to join us, so be cool. And then, if you guys have ideas or thoughts or questions that you want to throw in afterwards, go for it.
Is it?
It's in the other tab, actually.
Oh, yeah, we're on YouTube.
So just go on Streamlabs. And
we gotta open this, right?
Open the desktop audio and then open the display.
Oh, Inception?
Whoa, that's trippy.
Okay. Should we? Yeah.
Play it a little bit and make sure everybody can hear it. Can you guys hear the video?
Yeah, we can check the response.
We ain't afraid no ghosts.
All right,
so
just pause
we're
it.
gonna find.
Okay. Can you guys hear that?
Could you guys hear the video? Sound is good? Yeah? Loud enough and everything? Cool. All
Hopefully it's not too loud.
So
You
we're
still
going to
hear
do
it?
this. Cool. Oh, we're showing them what we see. Well, that's trippy.
Oh, well.
So it's just in the other tab. All right, cool. We're going to watch the Hidden Ghost video. Let's do it.
Alrighty.
I am hyped.
I know.
Oh, get rid of the live download thing.
No, I know there's
I think we caught a couple. I'm curious to see which ones we did catch.
Well, I'm sure I started seeing a whole bunch, and I was kind of like, well, you know, like, because I remember someone was like, oh no, pay more attention to the story. Don't be looking for the ghosts, and I can understand that.
Yeah.
Right? Okay.
I think you caught way more than I did.
I was like seeing things. I was like,
I'm seeing a lot with Bly Manor, dude. I'm seeing tons.
We ain't afraid no ghosts. So we're gonna find all of the ghouls hiding around Hill House. And we're not just talking about the emotional ghosts haunting the family. We're talking about the shadowy figures and spooky specters of Netflix's hit series, The Haunting of Hill House, lurking beside the staircase and in the dark corners of every room. So join Screen Rant as we try to catch them all. And while you're here, click that subscribe button and join
Okay,
our
alright.
notification
He's
squad.
saying subscribe to White Noise Reacts, actually. I know you guys probably can't hear. He's telling us to
Inspired by
sub.
one of the greatest horror novels of all time, Shirley Jackson's book of the same name is naturally unsettling. Mike Flanagan, director of the series, is no slouch himself. He and the creative team went out of their way to stock the screen full of pale figures who surround our favorite characters. Whether we notice them or not, their presence freaks out our conscious. In the first episode, Steven sees a ghost. A face looks back at us during the tour of the house.
What
It's
the
placed
heck?
between two poles in the railing of the staircase, and it kind of looks like Captain Howdy from The Exorcist if you freeze the frame and zoom in. There's also a face behind Nell as she sits in her bed.
There's no way we could have seen that.
That was really
Get
hard.
out of here.
And you'll miss an appearance of the bent neck lady a couple minutes later.
saw that.
Then
Yeah.
in Steven's room, when the doorknob is jostling, there's a man lurking behind.
That was just a
Steven.
crew
Not
member.
one,
They were
but
like, that's a
two.
ghost.
Clear from the area to the right of the stairs as Hugh and
Oh,
Steven run down the stairs.
that's cool.
When Liv talks religion with Mrs. Dudley towards the end of episode 1, there's a ghastly man looking out from behind a grandfather clock in the background. The
Did you see
time
that?
is
No.
You see any of
nightmare
these?
o'clock.
I don't think
Episode
so.
2
I think
features
it was
less
episode
undead
2 where I
beings
started
than
actually.
the
Yeah.
first installment of Hill House, but they're no less impactful than Clock Guy and the Staircase People, which would make a great band name, by the way. When Liv explains how a house is like a living thing, in a way that's
totally
Star
thought Monster
Shirley
House,
from
yes.
Life, there's a blonde kid watching them from behind the bushes in the distance. Shortly afterward, a blurry body stands just out of focus in the kitchen behind Liv.
How do you see these? That doesn't even look like a person to me.
Episode
It's 'cause we're
3 has
zooming
the
in
most
the
ghost
pixels.
cameos
Even then.
locked. There's a person behind the kitchen door.
Okay.
Okay,
Theo,
I think we
make out
saw
the
that
Did
one.
we see that one?
Yeah.
You did. If
After Theo and Luke play with the dumbwaiter, there's a woman in a dress that the kids don't seem to notice.
What?
She notices them, though, from across the dining room. As Theo and Luke mess around with the dumbwaiter shortly after, there's a figure watching them in the next room. When Theo strolls through the
How
kitchen
did I
10
miss
minutes later,
these?
we can see the side of a feminine figure to her left. Less than a minute later, keen-eyed observers might notice the eyes staring back at you through the ladder leading to the basement.
Dude,
About 10
they're, like,
minutes after that,
everywhere.
a girl
Yeah.
watches Olivia through the doorway, 2 rooms away. There's also the Baldy in the hall, who seems to be watching young Theo as she walks around the house. Behind Olivia, as she sits in the dining room after the bald ghost stops Theo, there's a face
We missed
just
all of
beyond
these.
her in the frame. When Hugh, Luke, and Nell march down the hall during their last night at Hill House, they don't say goodnight to the guy standing behind the lampshade. Rude. Seconds later, you might catch a ghost or two standing in the shadowy room behind
Okay.
That was a little
A little after 8 minutes into the episode, a tall man stands in the area behind young Luke and Nell as they try to convince Liv and Hugh of Hill House's ghostly nature. Soon after this moment, there's a doozy of a ghost standing at attention.
I
in front
definitely
of
saw
the
Yeah,
that
you saw that. We both
The
saw that
long-haired
one.
woman is a few rooms
I think that was
away
one of the
from
few
Hugh
ones
and
we
Liv
caught.
as They share a romantic moment. Then Luke and Nell get watched again in the kitchen. This time,
I
a
didn't see
face
that.
stares
Oh,
at them through the
they
glass
hit a
on the
bunch of
left
people
side
back
the
there.
wide
Yeah, there
shut
was
kitchen.
a few
Also, an
that we
aged
saw
lady
later.
is reflected in the brass
Yeah, we saw
bronze
that.
That was
system
meant to be seen, I think.
14.5 minutes into the episode. And don't forget the two guys at the bottom of the staircase.
I'm
because
pretty
they
sure I
appear
saw
when
that.
young Luke runs down the steps.
I think at least one of these ghosts had to be a crew member that was accidentally in a shot and they digitally it. I swear to you.
About the ghost behind her. And if
They did it
also
just in
divulge
case.
to the alter ego, Carla Gugino, that this ghost is played by none other than her Gerald's Game co-star, Bruce Greenwood.
I don't know it. Oh, I know Bruce
Another
Greenwood.
ghost appears to the left of Liv about a half a minute later. But even creepier is the ghost crouching beneath the piano. It's when Theo walks in on Liv as she talks with Nell about the drawings on the wall. We see some tensed hands.
We need to talk about who your favorite actor was, because the performances in this were great too. Like after this, obviously.
Behind Nell's right side in the shadows behind her. Episode 7. Apparently there are no hidden ghosts in the 6th episode of the series, but maybe we just haven't found them all yet. And now on to episode 7.
I think that was meant to be seen.
Yeah, we kind of all saw
that.
that.
Now.
Before the episode's 40-minute mark, there's a pale figure staring at him from a doorway behind his right side. In the basement, as Hugh spends time fixing up the house.
Oh my gosh.
Man, that's a hard one.
Damn.
Beside the shelves beside Hugh. Around the same time, there's also a creepy woman with waist-length hair staring at him, just out of focus.
Can you imagine if you were those actors? Like, oh, I'm the hidden ghost in Hell House.
The blonde is back in the basement, with her hand pressed around the wall behind Hugh and the officers. Episode 9. More watchers lurk around the family here in the series' second-to-last installment. First, as Hugh stands over Liv on the couch, a spirit appears to stand in a dimly lit window behind her. Another ghost can be seen in the far background.
Might have seen that.
It's standing behind a chandelier 2 rooms away from Hugh.
I think we might have seen that.
Around 60 seconds into the episode. 7 minutes later, there's a face right in front of our very
Oh my
eyes.
gosh.
The
That
team
one's...
didn't try too hard to hide this guy.
How did we miss
standing back
that?
in the window on the right side of the screen. Seconds later, the man in the window reappears beside Liv. And how could anyone use the staircase in this house
Might have
with all
seen
the
that.
paranormal
Did you?
activity? Another figure appears by the stairs when Shirley travels around the house for some food. Back at the stairs for the end of the episode, another ghostly man stands in the doorway on the right side of the
It's
screen.
all right around the
It's
stairs and
Yeah.
always in that
the
kitchen,
house,
in the
and
kitchen.
it's the last
In the
ghost
window in
we'll
the
see
kitchen.
before
Yeah.
we leave Hill House as well. Until episode 10. That is, we get one more visitation in the final episode. A little after the 50-minute mark, the ghost watches Steven from the room past the parted curtains. Scared yet? Well, don't be.
They
Swing
didn't
around, we'll be
catch,
here to keep you company. We'll always be.
I'm almost 100% sure that one of the statues was like looking at.
No, people said in the comments that apparently in the show, all over the show, the statues are constantly following
moving
the
and
people.
stuff.
Yeah. Which has got to be a bitch of a production design thing.
Yeah.
Like, I can't even imagine doing that. Oh my gosh.
Here we go.
Oh my gosh.
Wait, hold on. Let me check just to make sure that like
Nobody said anything
nobody's
crazy
like did anything.
or saw anything.
Okay, good. I just wanted to check just in case there were any.
Yeah, statues moving. No, you're good, Kayla. No worries. I never noticed the statues, which is very funny. The intro made me anxious, but that's it.
43 hidden. Wow.
Jeez, dude.
That's a lot of ghosts.
Jeez.
It's a lot.
That's freaking crazy.
Yeah, I feel like they missed a few. I didn't see like. I swear there was like a woman.
Yeah, I could have sworn we caught a few others that they didn't catch.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But dang, that's a lot.
That is. That's crazy. I totally respect that attention to detail.
Yeah, that's cool, and it's cool to that they even did that. It's like
Yeah, dude, it's freaking awesome.
You didn't have to do that.
Yeah. What did you think about the act? This is probably one of the best all-around acted shows that I've ever watched in my life. Like, everybody was great in it.
I agree. Now, granted, I haven't like watched basically any shows,
That's true.
so I can't really compare. But like,
Because always, at least I always find, even think about the movies you've watched, there's definitely weaker people.
Oh yeah.
Right? Like, this show, everybody, and especially the kid actors. Like, I know everybody talks about the kids in Stranger Things, and you'll make that judgment eventually. Okay. I think the kids in Hill House kicked the kids in Stranger Things' butt. And that's not to say the kids in Stranger Things were bad. I just think the kids in Hill House were amazing. Like, they're probably some of the best kid actors I've ever seen. Like, they were all good.
They were
especially
really
like
good.
Theo and Nell.
Yeah, Theo was really good.
She's a good, like, I've seen her pop up, though. She's like a Hollywood child actor. Yeah.
Oh, okay, cool.
Like, she's been in a good amount of things. But, like Nell, she was young.
All the acting
she had to
was
do a
very
lot.
Good. Yeah.
And she was really good, yeah.
Yeah, for them to be acting for that, that long of a, like, series and all over.
And actually complex, right? Like, a lot of times you'll have kid actors and they can be cute, but they were dealing with a lot of very, like, complex emotions and ideas, and they did an amazing job with that.
Yeah, it was very good.
Yeah.
I also really like the...
the Luke's in The Conjuring 3? Oh my gosh.
What?
Yo, who else is hyped? Okay, I know you guys are horror fans, but can we get some hype in the chat for The Conjuring 3? Because we fell in love with horror movies by watching The Conjuring movies, and I still don't think Hill House is a show, so I'm going to say this. I still don't think there's a horror movie that has been better than The Conjuring movies.
The Conjuring movies have felt
They're
very
so
good.
damn good.
Yeah.
Because they do the same thing that Hill House does, where they have that, like, amazing emotional story as well as horror story.
Yeah,
and
it
it's
doesn't...
freaking great.
It doesn't go too far one way. It kind of stays very, in the center, and it's not... Yeah, I love it. Dude, Luke, though, in The Conjuring, like... Who's he gonna be?
Probably the kid. I don't know, dude. I have no idea. We're watching that, by the way, like, live when it comes out, and we're doing a marathon next week of all the Conjuring movies that we haven't seen leading up to it. So if y'all want to get hyped for that, for sure.
That's gonna be fun.
Yeah, and Carla Gugino, she was in Watchmen, the lady who played the mom. She was the first Silk Spectre.
Oh.
She's really good. The girl who plays Theo, I've just seen her in other stuff that her husband's directed, which are all really good horror. Apparently the young dad was in E.T. I don't remember. I don't even think I've watched all of E.T. Not gonna lie.
Yeah, I only know parts of E.T.
I've seen all the famous scenes, but...
That's cool, yeah.
Yeah.
I'd love to see them in other movies and all that. That's why I'm liking Bly Manor and stuff, Just seeing a few of the same actors.
Yeah. Is this a sign to watch The Conjuring for the first time? We've already or are you talking about for you? Because we've already watched it, dude. If you don't want to watch it by yourself, watch it with us. That's what I say. Yeah, we started season 2. There is... Nelson's You. Oh, my gosh. Vera Farmiga. Yeah, Vera Farmiga's great. I love it all. I love it all.
Yeah, the dad was also a really good actor. The older dad as well. Like, his... like expressions and all that, top notch.
Dude, because he's a freaking Oscar-winning actor. I think he was even better, because he was so good. The dad had to do such complex stuff. Yeah, and I feel like he brought it like so hard for the show.
Oh yeah, he did really well.
Patrick Dunn, we're doing great, man. Thank you. I don't know. Do you guys have any other ideas or questions or stuff you wanted to ask us about the show? I mean, I feel like we kind of really covered a lot of it, as far as the details and whatnot.
What did happen? The biggest thing is, like, what did happen as far as, like, the past and stuff with Hill House?
I don't know.
Is there something, like, that explains that, or...
Are there... Because I know there's other movies. Did those cover, like...
Yeah, because
like
there's,
The Hills, maybe? Because maybe, is it kind of doing one of those things where it's like, this is a sequel, soft reboot, where it's like the things that happen in the other movies... are kind of the history of the house.
From what I've heard, it felt like a brand new thing or something,
Yeah.
Because it was a book, and then there were 2 other movies, I think, older ones, right?
Yeah.
Or something like that. But yeah, I'm wondering.
Oh my gosh! Eric! What the heck, dude?
Holy shit.
Oh my gosh! What do you do for a living? Dude,
what are you doing?
Thank you so much. Oh my gosh. Go up. We gotta answer this now.
It's not even a question.
Favorite actors for me:
yeah.
Theo, Luke, and Nell. Also, this was Victoria Pedretti's first acting job. Wait, Nell? Is that the actress of Nell? I think it is.
To Mike Flanagan.
Victoria Pedretti. I wanted to cast her in something, dude. I saw her and I was like, dude, I want her in a movie. I want to put her in something. Dude, we've been watching so much horror. I want to make horror movies. I really do. Like, I have set, like, if you had asked me before, like, a month ago, like, if we would do horror, I'd be like, eh. But, like, now I'm literally just, like, letting it percolate in the back of my head, and I'm like, I just need an idea. And once I have that freaking golden idea, like, I need something to make the scary, kind of like Hill House, like, has the emotional center. Like, I need something to make the scary around, and I am freaking 100% doing it. Like, yeah.
Yeah, so you're right. She is
She's great.
Yeah, adult actress. That's cool. What do you think about Flanagan's Hush and what was the other one?
Hush is an amazing movie.
Something Game, Jungle's Game, or something.
I don't know what that is. I've never heard of that movie.
He set it up here, Eric.
Gerald's Game? I've never heard of it.
Oh, Gerald's Game, whatever.
I would love to.
You've already seen Hush?
Hush is. I want to watch Hush with you because Hush is great. I didn't realize it was Theo. She's the main lady in it. Hush is amazing. Talk about, like, you know how there's horror and whatever? That's like terror. It's not horror.
Okay.
And I love it for that. Like, it's great. Such a great movie, and it's such a good idea. So we'll definitely watch that at some point. It's a smaller movie, so I didn't really do it yet because I actually didn't even think that many people knew about it, but apparently they do. You guys should really watch Servant, possibly. Because it's Shyamalan. Yeah, maybe after we do like a Shyamalan binge, we'll watch Servant. I'm down. Anna Coleman, thank you so much. Do you have a question or anything? Michaela, I have to go to dinner. It was my first live stream. Well, join us again. Thank you for joining us.
Yeah.
Really enjoy Eric Horstman presents live streaming with White Noise React. Dude, seriously though, Eric, we do, dude, ever since, we quit the job and stuff, it is hard, and so I like doing live streams, but I'm always worried. I'm like, sometimes it's just, you don't know whether it's going to be worth it, or it's better to spend your time doing videos, but I really, it's one of those things that I really like doing, but I'm never really sure if it's worth it, because, you only have so much time, and, it is kind of a job now, so, thank you, because it's I like video, I really like this stuff, and so it's now you supported us, and it's that's so great, and I don't have to worry about that.
I'm still baffled.
It's just awesome, dude. Thank you so much.
We gotta give this man some sort of perk.
Dude, I mean, do you want to be a mod, Eric?
Yeah,
for sure, 100% mod, man. This is Eric's channel now. Okay, I don't know about that. This is his live stream. Anyone seen the new Shyamalan trailer? I saw the teaser and it looked kind of dumb, not gonna lie. Now, to be fair, it was a teaser trailer, but it didn't look that good.
I haven't seen anything of it, so.
I wish you could do a live stream for The Conjuring, but you can't. We could, but it would be so lame because we couldn't show you anything. So it would just be watching us watch it, which I feel isn't nearly as fun. And that would be much harder for me then to make a reaction. So I'm I feel it's just better to make a reaction of it, and then you guys will be benefiting.
Yeah, it'd be kind of tough.
Yeah. Did Hugh Crane have his own red room? That's a good question.
I don't know.
No, he didn't.
I don't remember him ever.
Maybe it's because he was less tasty.
Could have been.
Everybody else had powers,
abilities. I feel Hugh was always in the.
He was
the dark with
everything. Yeah, so maybe that's part of it though. You know how we were saying, hey, that supports your theory. You know how we were saying that the Dudleys weren't as affected because they were less spiritual. Well, it's the same thing with him. So the house didn't prey on him as much because
he didn't have that sixth sense.
Yeah, a lot of stuff he was seeing was the wife, she was teleporting, but it was happening to her more than it was happening to him. You know what I mean? A lot of stuff that was happening wasn't happening to him. He was just seeing it happen to the people around him. We just reacted to it. Literally 3 minutes ago on live stream, we just reacted to it.
But yeah, House has its preferences.
Yeah, exactly. Oh my gosh, thank you so much. Reams?
Reams.
Thank you so much, dude. Do you have a question or anything like that, man? we're talking Hill House, but honestly, if you super chat, we can talk about anything.
What are those?
Charlotte, good night. Thank you so much.
What are those little like stickers? Are they called stickers?
Yeah, they're like super stickers or something.
That's funny.
I think they're cool. Good night, Heavy. Thank you for joining us, man. The actress that played Theo was beautiful. Well, she's married, so no comment.
Yeah, you can still call someone else.
I'm kidding.
I think Eric said, like we said earlier, Hush and Gerald's game.
We should watch it at some point. I'm totally down. How have you guys been liking everything? I mean, I don't know. Are you guys all... It's hard for me to gauge, because there's a lot of usual people, but are you guys all Hill House fans? And if you are, what else do you... Because Hill House is kind of like... It's not like art house. It's not that small, but it's like the tier above that, where it has like a real small, like tight fan base. And I really felt that. Like, there's a lot of you guys on Patreon, and we had like really cool discussions there. So I'm like, you know, what do you guys want to see more after Hill House? You know what I mean? Like, I don't know. Well, oh my gosh, Haley Hastings!
While they're answering
thank you so much.
We can go and answer her question.
That. What is it about Hill House that makes it stand out from other horror in your mind?
I think we talked a little bit about that earlier.
Yeah.
Just the whole, to me at least, you know, how it's not, the main dish is not really the ghosts. It is really like the trauma and the, you know, the straining of the connections after all the ghost stuff happened, you know?
Yeah.
And it's almost, like the ghosts are, well, the main ghosts are the trauma.
Yeah.
Right? The
Yeah.
things that haunts them.
But I like how it also wasn't just like, ooh, ghosts are trauma. Like, that would have been like really like short film, student film, try-hardy if it had just been like, the ghosts are trauma. It's like, yes, but also more. And I like that they did also more. I mean, look, I think as a filmmaker, there was the technical elements, right? Like, filmmaking-wise, it was beautifully made. Every episode was a masterpiece. Like, you know, episode 6 doing the one take, but everything about it was very, very well made. The music and the sound design was so perfect. It matched that like horror tragedy feel that was very unique to the show. I think all of the acting, and we said this, you know, maybe 5 minutes ago in the stream, but better than most TV shows I've seen, because the acting was good, but so across the board. Like, there was not a bad person in the show. Whereas every show or movie, it's like there's always a little bit of a weaker, even if they don't need to be important. But everyone in the show was amazing.
Yeah.
And I put a lot of that on Mike Flanagan, because I think that the way you direct your actors is incredibly underrated as far as the production process, but he must have just directed them masterfully. But also the actors. Yeah. The acting was amazing. There was not an actor that took you out of it at all. But yeah, I don't know. I think
I also like the weird like style he did for anytime they showed the past, like their younger selves in the house, where it had that weird sort of happy, colorful, glowy type of look to it.
Yeah.
And then when they went to the future, it was way more like, you know, a little more grayer, a little more, you know, not as saturated. Yeah. I kind of like that. It looks really good, and you can feel that in every time they switched.
Yeah, I agree. I also think, look at the horror thing, I think I would compare it to action in the way that, except that I think actually action does this a little better than horror. People mistake the horror genre for being the focus about the scares, I think, a lot of people. Yeah. And that's not bad. Just like a Fast and Furious movie can be good in its own right. But when there is an action movie where you have so much invested in these characters, even if the action isn't good, you care. Like, I've watched Last of the Mohicans is a big movie for me. It's an older movie. The action is very, very dated. But I care so much about every character in that movie that any moment of tension or gunshot or whatever, I am, like, on the edge of my seat. Even Lord of the Rings. Like, the action is cool, but it's not, like, the fanciest action you've ever seen in the world. And but it's the same thing. And I think it's that, but for horror, where it's like there are horror elements to it, but he doesn't spend all of his time doing, like, Fast and Furious in the horror world just scaring you. He makes you care so much about the characters, and so in turn that also makes the scary parts so much scarier. Like that jump scare was so scary because I was so glued to the screen because the damn scene was amazing.
Yeah.
And then also you're worried for the characters, like in the end, and when the dad dies, like all of it, it's heartbreaking.
Yeah, I feel like it was, most whatever, like you were saying, like Fast and Furious, whatever it might be, Transformers.
Yeah.
When there's not a lot of true, very good plot, and there's a lot of, cool action stuff, I feel like that's a lot of, like, candy, right?
Yeah.
Not as much substance, whereas this had a lot of substance, and, it makes the candy that much sweeter, kind of,
Yeah. Oh, Mike Flanagan's doing another show, Midnight Mass? Dang, I'm hyped. Okay, let's go up and see. I'm curious to see what people want us to react to next. We're doing Bly Manor, for any of you guys wondering. Yes, I love Hill House.
Okay. Okay. Storm of the Century.
Okay, that was my favorite show. I've just been really enjoying really good Netflix originals. Stranger Things, Hill House, Shadow and Bone. Okay, well, we're doing most of those.
Black Mirror, I don't know what that is. I've heard of that.
Yeah, I want to do it eventually.
Okay.
Bly Manor sucks. It's not as good as Hill House. I think it has some very good redeeming qualities, and because Mike Flanagan is a good filmmaker, it's still good.
Okay, well, I'm not going to judge it until I watch it, so I might say it's better. Who knows?
What do you guys think about Ash vs. Evil Dead? I've never actually seen the Evil Dead movies. Or Ash vs. Evil. I've seen an episode or two of Ash vs. Evil Dead, and I was hyped.
Bates Motel. I mean, listen, I don't know any of these things,
I don't know any of these either. I really don't want to watch American Horror Story. It's the only horror show that I'm just, like, immediately against. Yes, watch Black Mirror. How far are you guys into Bly Manor? 1 episode in. We're doing another one tonight. Vikings, maybe. We're trying to stay a little bit cleaner as far as some of the stuff. And I feel like Vikings is a little more on the Game of Thrones spectrum of it. So I kind of want to avoid some of that content on the channel. Same with Black Sails and American Horror Story. Like, I just don't want to... I don't know. I want to be aware of what we put out on the channel because other people see it. And so... I don't know. I get how you can totally personally disagree with me. It's just like, personally, I think there's a big difference between watching something privately and then also, like, putting it out. I don't know.
Yeah, I see. I get you.
Possibly Vikings censored then. I'm not sure. I'm open to it. Yeah, what do you guys think about Buffy the Vampire Slayer?
I've, like, heard of that. What is that?
It was like a 90s TV show that's pretty much self-explanatory. It's like a girl killing vampires, but like high school. It's really funny.
Okay.
Yeah, but he's still a producer on the show. The not having writing credit or producing credit or directing credit doesn't mean you're not involved, especially when it comes to TV. Because they kind of write off... Like, they have no name for a showrunner or people who are really involved in it, and so they usually just put him in as, like, executive producer. But it's not the same as a producer on a movie. They have much more control, and they're much more involved in, like, the storytelling of a show. Oh, my gosh.
Eric, yeah. Eric, what are you doing?
Oh, my gosh. Thank you so much, Eric. Penny Dreadful? I don't know, though. Penny Dreadful is kind of jacked up.
I don't even know. It's
kind of messed up.
Oh, really?
A little bit.
Oh, we'll look into it.
If Hill House and Bly Manor had a baby, it would be Penny Dreadful. Or not Hill House.
Wait, what?
If American Horror Story and Bly Manor had a baby, it would be Penny Dreadful.
Yeah, well, we'll look into it.
Yeah, we'll look into it. All of the Ocean's films, definitely. I was wondering more of like the horror genre because I know you guys are all horror fans. But
well, we don't know. They're all horror fans. They could be like Tawny or whatever out here.
No,
right?
That's true. That's true. I was
helping us
thinking
out.
most of the Hill House people. I guess.
That's true.
What happened to the Batman? It got canceled, man. They got out of it.
The what?
The Batman movie that Ben Affleck was gonna make.
Chai Bean is new to horror.
Any upcoming movie reactions? Always. Yeah, so what do we got? We got The Nun this weekend. And we got The Hobbit Part 2 coming out tomorrow. The Nun this weekend. We have a bunch of horror stuff that people paid for. So next week is just going to be like the biggest horror week of all time because we're doing a bunch of reactions to the rest of the Conjuring movies to hype up the Conjuring 3 that we're doing a reaction to. And then like 2 other people had reaction requests and those are due. So those are probably going to be extra. So like next week is the week of horror. Like there's like 5 horror movies that are going up next week or something like crazy.
Yeah, because we watched like 3 or 4 in like 1 day.
Yeah, right? So it's like I was so creeped out that day driving home. I was like, oh my gosh, this is terrifying. But yeah, we're doing a ton of horror next week.
Really quick, Dominic Bandola.
What did you say?
Scream is horror. Why we reacting to that?
Scream or Scream Queens? Scream is horror? I'm down, I've seen it though. We're gonna be doing Get Out and what's the other one that he did? I don't remember. Us, yeah. Us very, very soon. Like in the next few weeks. And then what do you go? Oh! You guys get the exclusive White Noise news. So in the works, because I like doing like reaction series, right? So it's like, oh, we have a horror series 1 day a week. We have a whatever series 1 day a week. And I was trying to think of something special we could do for the summer, right? Because summer blockbusters are a big thing in movies, in the movie world. So I came up with this idea, a lot of because people have been requesting Train to Busan. But I don't know what you guys think of this. I was thinking of doing maybe in like late June to July, like zombie something summer, and just doing like a huge binge of like every zombie movie ever, like Evil Dead movies, freaking World War Z, Shaun of the Dead, Train to Busan. Like I don't know, I thought it would be cool to just do like a huge watch party of zombie movies, but I don't know if you guys like that or do you prefer more like specific. Oh, okay, well there we go. Okay, cool. Then I'm glad you guys are happy. Well, that is the exclusive that you guys get. So we're most likely going to be starting something like that in the summer as like a cool celebration.
Dude, I love always like I haven't watched a whole bunch of zombie movies.
I haven't either. That's why I want to do it.
But I don't know why, but we always like when I was younger, like we'd always like fantasize about like what would happen in a zombie
Dude, because freaking Nazi zombies.
Oh yeah, you know, just what
that is
would
one of
do?
the few video games that I've ever played and I love to my core. Oh my gosh.
I'm down to watch a whole bunch of zombie movies. That'll be fun.
But yeah, I don't know. That's Zombieland 2. Yeah, there's tons of stuff. Resident Evil, maybe.
I know about Resident Evil.
Yeah, that's why I figured we would end with Train to Busan because you guys have been asking for it. But I figured it'd be weird if we just kind of did it out of nowhere. Will you do a poll so we can comment recommendations, or will it be under a video in the comments? What?
I'm assuming like.
Just in general? I mean, look, you're always free to comment recommendations. It's just everybody has recommendations.
Yeah.
So keep in mind, like, I do see them, even if we don't answer them. It is not a guarantee, though, that we're going to watch it because so many people request things. But, like, I do check the comments pretty regularly. And so if there's a big thing being requested, like Train to Busan, that's why I came up with the zombie idea. Because it's like, you don't just want to do the video out of nowhere because then we kind of suffer. But I do, if there's enough requests for something or I start seeing it pop up or there's a lot of comments about it, I will totally take it into consideration and we'll totally react to it. And the other thing that I think you guys should keep in mind too is that a lot of the movies that you're asking, we're going to react to at some point. It's just not like in the next month. Like, yeah. Because, you know, since we are doing this as a living, the channel goes through phases of like fan bases almost, and so it's like, oh, if you just watch Karate Kid, you want to watch Cobra Kai right after that because that's what those people want you to watch. But it's like, that doesn't mean I'm not gonna ever watch Breaking Bad. I love Breaking Bad. I just know that if I uploaded Breaking Bad right now with the people watching the channel, it would get like 200 views, and it would be a waste of Breaking Bad, which is a great show. So that's why we're not at all like ignoring your reactions or anything like that.
Really quick, the follow-up from Sierra. She means to recommend
the zombie films. Yeah, most likely I'll start with a few, and then you will just... And all of those, you can just give us a list, and the most popular... We probably won't do all of them, but the most popular of whatever you guys suggest in the comments, we'll continue doing. Yes. Yes, of course. Yeah, I don't know. What did you guys think of the I Quit video, though? Like, I know it was kind of trolly, but, like, as far as vlogs, because, like, now that I don't have a job, I want to start doing more, like, vlog. Like, do you guys like that? Do you want more vlog, or are we just purely reaction people here?
I'm sure there's some like that.
Thank you, Finksra. Blind Manor is... Oh, did you already see the first episode? Yeah, because it's going up the rest one on Patreon. But thank you, man. You have a great night. I'm down to do musicals. I think we were gonna do maybe next month at some point. See, don't quote me on this because
obviously
I have so much to work on.
Yeah.
But we might finish the Harry Potter musical Star Kid stuff, and then if that leads to more musicals, we can do that. So, for sure.
You can call me Nine-Tailed Brush. Moji. Moji.
Okay.
I was gonna be like, Asian guy.
Asian guy. What's your name?
Is that you?
Okay.
I mean, he's Asian though. Not gonna lie.
I am. I know we make a lot of requests, but we love your content. We come here to hear y'all's theories. No. I totally. Yeah, that's just the only thing is that like I know some people. The only time I am totally down with requests. That's cool. The only time it like gets weird is if people get it like some people will say it like we have to, and I'm like, dude. Like, you gotta understand, like, we're trying, like, you must, like, they'll say it in a way that's, like, really condescending, and they're like, react to this now, and you're like, dude, come on, like, don't give me that. Other than that, I'm totally okay with suggestions.
Yeah,
of course. Like, of course. Can we call you NTB? Oh, no.
All good, yeah, call me whatever, it's all good.
It has to be Nine-Tailed Brush, okay? Exactly like that. No.
This guy's talking for me. What?
I'm kidding.
All good, Moji.
Kingdom Request. Zombie series, Gone Girl, or Random what? Hamilton, maybe.
Oddest Dylan, I do not. I'm assuming that's like Cobra Kai stuff or something. What?
You won't understand.
Okay. I don't know anything about that. So,
Man Lamb, I am not gonna acknowledge that. The Boys, I don't know. The Boys is a little too much for us. In my opinion, it was kind of gross. I didn't really like it. It's kind of unnecessary. We're trying to keep it like a little bit, not like PG, but like PG-13.
Try your best.
Especially with like sexual stuff, I feel like violence. I don't know. I feel weird like putting out full length reactions of that kind of stuff. So like we try and skirt around that a little more, just because I feel like there's kind of a responsibility and different stuff like that. As far as that's concerned. So, The Boys also, I just thought was, like, beyond that even, was just disgusting. Like, I was like, this is too much, and it was, like, completely unnecessary. Yeah, that's why we only watched the first Saw, because I feel like the other ones kind of just got gross, and were gross for no reason. No, I think you're totally right about musicals. I'm totally down. I don't know how many musicals are available. Like, I know there's Hamilton. I know there's, La La Land, like a few of those things, and then some. But I don't know. Are there other like recordings and stuff? Yeah, that's why I'm down, Layla, for Vikings. If there's an audience, I've seen a few people suggest it. So maybe at the end of the medieval run we could do it or something. I'm totally down. Spiral will probably do, because I feel like, look, the big thing for me is that, like, I just don't like it when it's unnecessary, right? Like, that's where I'm like, when you do it just to do it and be, like, edgy, and there's no point in this, like, I'm totally okay with violence. And even, like, the sexual stuff, I'm okay with it, it's just, I feel a little weird putting it out there. But, like, the violence especially, like, I just don't like it when it's, like, just to be edgy. Like, I don't really get... Like, I totally understand. And if there's a story to tell, or there's a point where it's like, oh, this is war, or whatever. Like, you can tell when there's a point to it, or they're just doing it to tantalize the viewer.
Yeah, I getcha. Like, I'm the same way, kind of. I don't know.
So I'm kind of down to watch Spiral because I feel like, look, it's a crime thriller. Like I've watched other things like that, like Seven or whatever. And it's like it's disgusting, but there's a point to it because it's like, oh, there's the killer and they're doing these things. You know, like I just don't like it when it's like, let's just watch 5 minutes of people getting decapitated for no when there's no point to it. I don't know. Does that make sense?
Yes. I saw a comment in there. I was trying to. Yeah, Lucy. I was kind of going for that.
What'd you say? What'd they say?
They said, when I hear nine-tailed brush, I always picture the fox with 9 fluffy tails that resemble paintbrushes. That's what I was going for.
That's exactly. All right. Well, I don't know. Do you guys have any other questions or anything like that? You guys have been Eric, my man, the MVP of tonight's stream. Everybody give Eric some love.
Yeah, dude,
because he's freaking awesome.
Came out of nowhere. Like, how much did he donate? You gotta check afterwards.
Like $200, bro.
Oh my god.
Like, are you serious? Dude. That's freaking awesome. So yeah. If you guys get any other questions, throw in the chat. We're gonna be getting out of here. We got actually some Blind Manor reactions to do.
Yep. I'm excited for that.
We're always busy for you guys. So yeah, you guys got anything?
220.
Holy dude. What the goat, man. There's a movie called White Noise. Well, we have to react to it.
It better be good. Using our name out here.
Logan Paul or Mayweather? Oh, Mayweather.
I don't even know.
Guys, order some takeout and celebrate. We will, Sarah.
Hey,
Thank you.
200. We're gonna order some good takeout.
The Blind Manor reaction. We're just like chomping on Chinese food the whole freaking time.
We should, just for the joke of it, you know.
Eric, guys.
Thank you, Eric.
Oh my god. Spit taking the scares. Oh my gosh. All right. Well, thank you guys so much. You guys have a great night. All of you Hill House fans, we love you guys. If you don't come back to the channel, you guys are the best. You guys are really cool.
Yeah, thank you.
And really sweet. If you do want to stick around, we got Blind Manor. We got cool horror stuff. Other stuff that you might like. So, feel free to stick around if you want. If not, thank you. You guys were, different fan bases are different levels of toxicity, and Hill House was up there with some of the best. You guys were cool.
That's really good.
You had cool theories. You weren't afraid to talk about, cool, deeper stuff. So, thank you for that. You guys were awesome. Thank you guys so much. Yeah, you guys have a great night, and if you guys want to hang around, you want to do live streams, if you guys are new to the live streams, we do these every Thursday, so you want to come hang out with us next Thursday? Go for it, man. Thank you, Layla. You're the best.
Thank you, Layla.
Layla is a homie, dude. She's been doing reaction requests and everything. She's the reason Shadow and Bone exist on the channel.
And shout out to our moderators,
Kayan, Hatsy Patsy,
and
I always say her name wrong. Always.
I'm always hesitant.
You always tell us how to say it, and I always forget.
Mesa?
Marucci. I'm going with the last name. Thank you, M. Marucci. You're the best. You have a great night. All right. Good night, guys.
Good night, everyone.